Welcome everybody to a very requested video. This is sort of a follow-up to my How to Wizard101 video, but I'm not going to title it How to Wizard101 Part 2, but that's pretty much what it is. But today, we are going to be focusing on what spells you should train, and I'm going to try to give sort of a universal overview. Like, obviously, if you're a certain school, you should train the spells in those schools, but if you're not, I'm going to try to explain as quickly as I can sort of the spells you should be training and what exactly you should be doing. And if you are a veteran player to this game, it might not be as helpful to you, I'm not going to lie. But again, maybe watch this video, see if you can find any things that I missed and leave them in the comments below to help people out. That would be awesome. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys about is there's a series that I'm considering starting where basically you guys like comment t-shirt ideas and you like tweet pictures at me, and then in a video I take all the best ones and like talk about them, and then like you guys can vote in the comments for the best one, and I'll like actually make it into a t-shirt that you can buy, and we'll do that like every couple of weeks or something. If you guys think that'd be cool, let me know in the comments, leave a like on this video, let me know if you guys want to see that. I don't know, it's sort of similar to like what Jax Films does with some of his videos. I've never seen anyone actually like make a t-shirt from it or something like that, and especially related to Wizard101, I think it'd be hilarious. There's not enough Wizard101 merchandise out there anyway, like really subtle references and stuff that would be really funny to people who play the game. So let me know if you guys want to see that, but let's go ahead and just get into the video. So if you guys know the game, you gotta understand that every school gets all of their spells for free, which means that what I'm about to say is not gonna apply to everybody, but I'm gonna try to give as best of an overview as I can. So when you start the game, I'm not exactly sure where it says, but it shows up in the quest line somewhere or something. It's going to encourage you to choose a second school. It's going to encourage you to train your main school and train a second school. That is not true. You do not want to do that, okay? You want to train certain schools up to certain spells. So, dude, look at where I am. I absolutely love this nightmare mount. It's like, it's literally my favorite thing. Okay, so this is my level 120 Storm. He's gonna be helpful because you really shouldn't train Storm unless you are Storm. There are exceptions to that rule, and that's a lot of stuff has to deal with PvP. So this is not a PvP video. This is not related to training spells necessarily for PvP. I'll make a separate video on that later, but for now, let's just go through what he has and I'll sort of explain. So in terms of fire spells, I have none. I have Burning Rampage because I got it from farming. You don't need this spell, totally unnecessary. If you're not a fire wizard, there's really no reason you should have any fire spells. I mean, you can train fire dispel and stuff, but again, that's getting into PvP. So, no fire spells unless you're fire. Now, we got ice spells. These are important. What you want to do is this is actually the first thing you're going to want to train, unless you are an ice, because you will get these for free. But if you are not an ice, regardless of what school you are, I highly suggest that the first things you train the ice school up to tower shield. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells. The stun block is for PvP. You don't need this. You can train it if you want, but don't worry about this right now. Go to the ice school, and with your first 5 training points, train up to tower shield. I think it's like level 16 or something you get it at. Basically, tower shield is like the most important shield in this game. You're going to use it basically from level 1 to level 120. It's super helpful for PvP and just in general. It's just a must-have sort of in this game. That's the first thing you want to train with your training points. Again, if you are ice school, just save your training points for now. That'll work in your favor because you'll have extras. But if you guys are not an ice, go ahead and train up tower shield first. That's what you want to spend your first 5 training points on. It'll also be nice if you're a lower level for questing. You also get some of these spells too. You can use the Snow Serpent and Evil Snowman and stuff. Again, they're not super powerful, but you do want to get tower shield. Now, I am a storm, so as you can see, I have a lot of storm spells here. However, if you are not a storm, there really aren't any storm spells that you need. So yeah, we can just go ahead and move on from that. Then, going over to myth. Again, if you're not a myth, you don't need them. Again, there are exceptions to this, okay? So just understand that if you're going to get really into PvP, there are exceptions to this, but for right now, if you are not myth, don't worry about training any myth spells. Now we get to life, and in my opinion, life is the second most important school to train after you get your tower shield. Save up your training points, and you're going to want to train all the way up to Satyr here. As you can see, I have a couple of extra spells here, like Luminous Weaver is not something you're going to train. I know Life Dispel is not something you're going to train either. Pixie is something you just get from like, I don't know, it's like level 5 you get it, so don't worry about that, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 7 training points you're going to need to train up to Satyr, but Satyr is sort of a must-have in this game for questing and for PvP. That's probably the next thing you should spend your training points on. And again, quick side note, I said this in my How to Wizard101 video. By the way, if you guys missed that, go check that out first. It'll definitely help you out. But the best way to get training points is going to be doing the Zeke quests. Zeke is a little guy. He's not a little guy. He's a pretty big guy, but he's a guy that's in the commons area of every world. He's pretty easy to find. He should be on the map. Go find him. He offers a quest where you go look for like little things, like I don't know, they're always different things, but they're throughout the world. You want to get them when you first start the world, because if you don't, you have to go back and it's super annoying. But if you do all those quests, he'll give you training points. You also get training points. It's once every 4 levels until you get to level 20, and then it's once every 5 levels after that. But if you guys can get as many training points as possible, it's going to help you with this. Again, there's a couple of other quests that'll give you training points. There's like one in Celestia or something. I don't know. Don't worry about that too much. Just make sure you do the Z quests, and obviously just leveling up will get you a lot of training points too. But don't worry too much about training points. Like, I have all the spells I need, and I haven't even done all the Z quests. I still have 2 training points too, so don't worry. By the time you get to max level, you'll have plenty of training points as long as you've done some of the quests. Sorry for talking so fast. I just don't want to make these videos too long. Anyways, going into death. Death is not necessary, but you're going to want to train up to feint eventually. This is something you could sort of put in the background, because feint's like, I don't know how many training points it is. Is it 7 or something? 1, 2. Infection's not part of it, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it is another 7 training points, which is kind of a lot. So feint is super helpful for questing. It's not really necessary in PvP. If you're making like a lower level PvP character, you probably don't want to use feint. For questing, it is super helpful, and again, it is 7 training points. So once you've got ice and life, which you should prioritize over this, you could go start training up feint. Oh, and again, all of these are at the main trainers. Okay, so don't worry. All these are just like the main trainers in Ravenwood. Obviously, for this guy, you have to go to Nightshade to the death trainer, but all these are easy to find. All right, now we get to balance. So I'm gonna actually go to Krokotopia and show you guys where this is, just so no one gets confused. The 2 things that you want, it's gonna depend on your school, but the 2 things that you want for balance are gonna be, you want the Elemental Blade or the Spirit Blade. If you're a Spirit school, you want the Spirit Blade. You're gonna want the Elemental Blade, and Reshuffle is helpful for PvP. You really don't need Reshuffle. Don't worry too much about Reshuffle right now if you're just doing questing, but you're definitely gonna want the Elemental Blade or the Spirit Blade. I'm gonna show you where that is right now. You just go over to Krokotopia here. Go and board the boat. You obviously have to be in Krokotopia. It's like level 20 or something. After you go across the boat, just go over to this guy here, Niles, and go ahead and click train. And as you can see, I've already trained the Elemental Blade, but there's these ones too. You don't want the traps. Don't even bother with those. You don't need those. But Spirit Blade right here, if you are a Spirit school, go ahead and train that. If you guys are wondering, if you're a balance, you get all that stuff for free. So, you know, if you're a balance, you kind of lucked out because you get a lot of awesome spells. But don't worry too much about it. Again, even if you're a balance, you're still going to want to train the other schools. But if you're not a balance, you want the Elemental Blade or the Spirit Blade, because when you're questing, you can stack this blade on top of your regular school blade, and it'll allow you to do a bunch of damage. And again, you can get it at a pretty low level. It's like level 20 or something, 20, 25. So it's pretty good. Again, the Reshuffle thing is more of a PvP thing. There's sort of a secret trainer in Colossus Boulevard. She also sells the spells. Don't worry too much about that right now. If you guys are getting into PvP, you're going to want to train Reshuffle, but don't worry too much about that. So that is the guide for regular spells. Again, I didn't go into the PvP stuff. If you guys are doing a specific level PvP character, the spells you're going to train could be completely different. But if you're just general questing, first thing you want to do is train Ice up to Tower Shield, then train Life up to Satyr, and then get Feint, and you'll pretty much be set. Obviously, along with the spells that you get from your regular school. So that's the basic overview. If you guys are under level 50, that's pretty much all you need to know. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and talk about Astral spells, which I think is actually the more important part. Even if you're a higher level, sometimes people still have trouble with this. So I'm going to go through quickly what you should get and why, and hopefully this will be helpful. So I'm going to go through each spell, and I'm going to tell you why or why not you should get it. So Cloak is for PvP. If you're not doing PvP, you don't need it. Potent Trap. This you get in Azteca along with the Sharpened Blade spell. They're both from the trainer. You have to do these side quests to unlock them. They're kind of difficult, I'm not going to lie, but these are totally worth doing. I don't remember exactly what the quest is. Someone can leave it in the comments below or something, but go find it. It's given from one of the guys in the main areas, but you unlock the trainers for these, and you definitely want to unlock these because they're really good. What Potent Trap does is you can enchant your feints or other traps to do 10% more. So instead of doing 70, it does 80. These are super powerful because then you can stack feints. So you can have a plus 70 feint and plus 80 feint. And even if you use a treasure card feint too, you'll get 3 feints on them, which is amazing for questing, and for bosses, it's super helpful. So you're definitely going to want Potent Trap regardless of whatever school you are. The next thing you want, and this is just a must-have for every single school, is Sharpened Blade. Now enchant your blades to do an extra 10, and again, you can stack them. So instead of having 1 blade, you can have 2. If you use it on the Storm Blade, you can have a plus 30 and a plus 40, and if you use the Elemental Blade, you can have a plus 35 and a plus 45. It's an amazing spell. Definitely get it. Like, it's a must-have. Now, probably the most important Astral spells are the enchants. The first one you start with in terms of the spell enchants is Strong, then Giant, then Monstrous, then Gargantuan, and then Colossal, and then Epic. You start training them in Celestia. I think it's like level 50 or something. You can get Strong. Then you have to train Giant. You have to train all of them to get to the next one, so you're going to have to put in a decent amount of training points to get these, but it's totally worth it. Go to the trainers in Celestia, train these. I think it's like Strong, Giant, Monstrous, and Gargantuan you can get, and then you're going to have to go to Zafaria to get Colossal, and then Epic. I don't even know where you get Epic. Is it in the Arcanum? If you guys are like close to max level, don't worry too much about Epic because, again, it's not really a big difference. It's only 25 damage. It does look cooler, but make sure you guys start training Strong and Giant and Monstrous, because basically what this does is enchants your spell to do more damage, which when you're questing is amazing. Like, it's so helpful. This is like, if you train any Astral spell, you should train the spell enchants because they'll help you so much. Now, the next spells I have on here are not really necessary. Conviction is more for PvP. Galvanic Field is a Azteca spell. It's by the trainers that sell Potent Trap and Sharpened Blade too. It's not really necessary. They have it for all the different schools. They're okay. They used to be better. They're not really that good now, but you can train it if you want. It's sort of whatever. Now, Flawless is the same thing as Infall. It's just a slightly upgraded version. Infallible is really a PvP spell. You don't really want to use this when you're questing. So, I mean, if you're not getting into PvP, don't really worry too much about it, but you can get it if you want. I'm pretty sure this is something you train in Celestia. The other spells that I don't have on here, which I can talk about, let me go ahead and go into my life. So here are a couple of different spells. I'm on my life character right now. Primordial is a heal enchant. Pretty much the only school you want to get this for is if you're a life. It's really only necessary if you're a life. Radical is the upgraded version of that, obviously. Those aren't even necessary really if you're a life. I mean, they're good. They make your spells look cool. It's kind of fun if you're trying to be like a heal tank type character, but it's really not even necessary at all, but I have those. As you can see, the stuff that overlaps between these characters and the stuff that you should probably get is Potent Trap, Sharpened Blade for sure, the spell enchants, and then maybe the aura for your school. I don't even have it for life because I'm pretty sure the one for life is actually like a healing one and you don't even need that. But basically what you need to know about astral spells is you want the spell enchants, you want Sharpened Blade, and you want Potent Trap. Like that for sure is what you want. So it's really not super difficult. If you need help finding the trainers, leave a comment down below. As I said, there's one in Celestia, there's one in Zafaria, and then there's some in Azteca, and then I don't know where the last one is for Epic. It might be in the Arcanum. I'm honestly not sure. I probably should know, but I honestly don't remember. So for the sake of making this video not too long, I apologize. I hope this has been helpful so far. I'm trying to make it as short as possible, but not go super into depth on everything because it would just take too long. So the last thing I want to talk about is Shadow spells, which you really don't need to know too much about. You want Shadow Strike. That's like the only spell you really need to know about. Dark Nova can be useful. The Shadow Seraph can be useful for healing. Basically, Shadow Strike is really the only spell you need, and that's helpful in PvE and PvP. If you are an attacking school, I don't know exactly what schools it is, but if you're like Storm, probably Fire, some of those schools, you'll get Shadow Strike for free in Chrysalis when you're doing the quest, so you don't even need to worry about it. But if you're a life school or something, you get the Shadow Seraph one or the Dark Nova or whatever, just go ahead and train Shadow Strike, and then you're pretty much good. Like, that's the Shadow spell that you need is Shadow Strike right now. Don't worry too much about it. So the last thing I do want to say, and I should have said this earlier, but I sort of forgot. Whatever school you are, there's a couple things you're going to want to train, a couple special cards. Every school, except for Balance, has a -80 shield. I'm going to show you where to get that in a second. Every school has a Convert All, which is from this unicorn in Avalon and the Wild, I believe. Look that up. If you guys are above like level 76, go ahead and train that. That mass convert is super helpful. As I said, get it for whatever school you are. If you guys are trying to be a tank, I know like some life characters that train the Storm one because it can be helpful, but pretty much just get the one for your school because it's free, it's easy. And then the last thing is your school Dispel. Again, it's free. It's from the trainer in Colossus Boulevard. I don't remember exactly what level it is. It might be like in the teens, might be 20 something. I'm not exactly sure, but go ahead and train that. Those are basically just free spells. They're not like necessary, but they'll be helpful. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all you guys need to know. As I said, I probably am forgetting some stuff. If I am, please leave a comment in the description below to help out some people. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you where to get those -80 shields real quick, and then I think we'll wrap up this video. So if you go over to here to Golem Court, oh, the fairgrounds, never mind. God, it's been a while. And go over to Sabrina Greenstar. You can see that there's all of these. They're level 10. And get it for your school. It's free. You know, it's just good to have. It can be helpful with bosses and in PvP and whatever. So, anyways, guys, I think that's about gonna do it. Please leave a like on this video. I just spent a ton of time making this. I hope this was helpful. Again, if you guys have any questions, if I missed something, leave it in the comments below. I'll be doing some more PvP specific videos where I'll go into like certain levels and what exactly you need for that. But that is for a different video. Again, if you guys did enjoy it, please feel free to leave a like. If you guys want to see that t-shirt series, let me know. You can even leave some suggestions in the comments below if you want. But thank you guys so much for watching. Got a lot of awesome content coming soon, and if you guys did enjoy, I will catch you all in my next video.
Yo, I hear you talking, I'm like, yeah, I understand that too. You ain't faded, well, I'm faded, understand that too. I got the realest ones around me, understand that too. All the people know what's up, they understand that too.
Man, your girl hit me up, we gon' plan that too. Fuck them all, tell the cops, understand that too. Got a flight overseas and we land at